Welcome to the Kennedy Report, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kennedy Hall. It is confirmed that Balenciaga company, which I didn't even know existed until a few days ago with this whole scandal with the weird pictures and stuff. The name is uh, it's a reference to ritual demonic sacrifice, and it's actually been proven by the way that it's been translated. There's been something making the rounds on Twitter and other places where they're putting in a way of spelling the name into Google Translate, and it's coming out as Baal or Baal or Baal, depending how you say it, which basically means demon. It's a worship of demons. Baal is the king, and in another language, it is put in and it's do what you want. So I'm actually going to pull up Google Translate here real quick, and we're actually going to look at this because I'm telling you, it's a real thing. Somebody sent it to me last night. I thought it was totally nonsense. I'm just trying to find it here. But in fact, it is true. If I just find the actual tweet here, I'll make sure I spell it properly. Okay. So if I share my tab here, share. Okay, everyone can see that now, I think. Yeah, so if we'll make this bigger. Oh, we can't really make it much bigger. Anyway, you see there, it says Balenciaga, and this is do what you want. And if we scroll down, and if you put Balenciaga, I'll show you this in Google Translate, but Balenciaga, it comes out as Baal is the king. So Balenciaga, I'm going to write that down so I don't make a problem. Balenciaga, okay? And then if we put Balenciaga, we'll put that into Google Translate. Now, my friend Ryan Grant here said that this isn't the case because it's not the Latin translation. It's true, it's not Latin. And I'll show why that happened. It's not Latin, but it's just when you use Google Translate, the default that comes up is Latin, and we'll show that here. If we share the screen here, if you look here on the screen, I'll make this. I can actually make this one bigger. If you look here on the screen, it has Latin and English as the default, right? But it's not. But it detects the language that you put in. So let's actually put it in here. Let's do the one where it's Balenciaga. Okay. That's a literal translation. Do what you want. This is the tenet of Satanism. Do what thou wilt is the whole of the law. Okay? And that is from a language, you can see it there barely. And it's called Hausa or Hausa or Hausa or House. I don't know how to say it. It's an African language. It's a real language. I looked it up. One of the languages is from sort of central Western Africa. It's spoken in places like Niger and Chad. And another one is from sort of closer to South Africa, I believe, near the Lesotho area. But they're both real languages. So one of the ways that you put in their company name, Balenciaga, it gives you the tenet of Satanism. Let's do the other one. So it's Balenciaga. There you go. Baal is the king. You see that, right? This isn't fake. This is real. I did this real time. I was sent the screenshot of this last night, and I saw the whole Latin thing, and I'm like, well, this must be completely fake. So I had my buddy Joe Boca check it out for me, and he sent me a text, and he said, no, it's real. And I looked it up myself, and it's exactly real. You put it in one way, you get do what you want, which is the whole of the law according to Satanists, and you put it in another way, and you have Baal is the king. So who is Baal? Who is Baal? Well, I'm going to share a screen here as well. In essence, Baal is used interchangeably in the Old Testament to refer to the demonic. Okay, some exorcists and demonologists will say Baal or Baal is a particular deity, a particular demon, like false god, which is probably true. But it's also used, and we'll look at the Catholic Encyclopedia here, because we always go to the Catholic Encyclopedia. And you can see this in the Catholic Encyclopedia. I went down here. So what is Baal worship amongst the Gentiles? So, what's the relevance of this? Okay, so I'll make this bigger. So the evidence is hardly of such weight as to justify us speaking in worship of a Baal. So, meaning that there are multiple ways that Baal is used. The Baal worship so often alluded to and described in Holy Writ might perhaps be better styled as Sid worship, moon worship, or Melech or Moloch worship, or Hadad worship, according to places and circumstances. So essentially, what they're saying is that Baal worship, the worship of Baal or Baal, is essentially used to talk about the worship of a false god, of a demon. That's all the gods of the nations are, the gods of the Gentiles are demons, or the gods of the nations are demons, as we know from Scripture. So it's generally speaking, idolatry, worship of a fallen angel. That's what it is. So it's interesting that the Catholic Encyclopedia here says Moloch. If you're not sure who Moloch is, let's just take a quick little search of Moloch. And it's not fun. Okay. Okay. So this is some Hebrew source or Jewish source. But anyway, Moloch is a god of child sacrifice. So here's how it happened. There are many references to a rite named Moloch, which involved passing children through fire. Okay? And you can find this here in the Old Testament and so forth. Also in various Jewish sources. My point here is not to give a big background on it, but it's known that it is child sacrifice. So Moloch is a child sacrifice demon, and this company is called Balenciaga, which means Baal is the king. Generally speaking, in the Old Testament, worshiping Baal or a Baal is usually attributed to Moloch. This company, this is the same company that was putting out those satanic images associated with children. This is the same company that is, I can't even stand this celebrity nonsense, but they're in the grips of this whole celebrity thing with the Kardashians and the Kanye West and whatever. If you don't know the background, check out the video that I did with Joe a couple days ago where they actually did like a weird, disgusting, sexualized thing that had to do with selling stuff to children. They've since had to apologize for it. Now, people will say, well, this is just a coincidence. And you know what? In the human sense, maybe it is. I believe it's an evil company from what they've done. But in the human sense, maybe it is a coincidence. But there are no coincidences in a sense. This is a company that has decided to use a name where when you put that in, you get out basically worship child sacrifice demons and do what you want. That's what it is. Clearly, this company, if you look up what they've actually been doing, it's an evil company. And evil people, evil companies, evil organizations that give themselves over to these disgusting ideologies, they become prey for the satanic. So whether or not they've intentionally done it, I don't know. Who can know? And they're never going to admit it. But this is like one of those things where you see the subliminal messaging and the company is like a wink at a child sacrifice demon who says, do what you want and worship. And the demon of child sacrifice is the king. Okay, so that's the bad news. What's the good news? Okay, well, I have a friend here. Okay, and this friend, and I really want everyone to, this is not for me, this is for a friend of mine. I really want everyone to consider this. So there's my friend Sam. And he's a wonderful man. He's a Catholic father. He's a pro-life guy. He's just a great guy. There's his beautiful family, his beautiful wife, and his beautiful children. And she's expecting. And they've had some real hardships, really, really strong hardships. Basically, his wife's been on bed rest for the better part of 3 months. And as we live in Canada, the government of Canada does not recognize unborn children as being human beings. So you do get benefits from the government that you pay into, by the way. You pay into it for years. It's not free. It's part of your taxes. But you do get benefits to take care of sick loved ones if you have to take an extended period of time off work. The doctors said that she had to go on bed rest because of the high risk. By the way, Bishop Athanasius Schneider has been praying for his wife and for the child. We're very grateful to him for that. But essentially, the government does not recognize the life of the unborn child. So he submitted his claims saying, I need to take time off work for an extended period of time. He's the sole provider of a growing family, and very hardworking guy, very moral person. Trust me. And basically, the government said, you're taking care of your wife. Her health's not at risk, so we can't give you the money. It's true. In a sense, her health is not at risk. She's not the one who's at the risk of dying. It's the child. They're very close to he's been at home for about 3 months without getting paid because he's been taking care of his wife so they can have their child. He's a real hero. He's a real good Christian man. And the government said no dice. And I reluctantly forced him to do this because I know that they need help and there's no shame in that. And everyone, please, who is watching this, click the link in the description. It's the top thing, even before everything, to help support them. This is a society, obviously, from this Balenciaga, worship Baal, do what you want, worship child sacrifice. This is a company that literally wants to destroy children. And you make zillions of dollars on a company like that. And here is a good man who is honest and hardworking, and think about the people that get money off of welfare. Not to say that everyone's bad, but you can literally be a drug addict on the street and they give you $500 a month in Canada. But if you stay home to take care of your wife and unborn child because there's a high risk, and you pay into your taxes for 20 years of your adult life, they don't give you anything. It's just absurd. So please, click the link in the description. $5, $10, $15. Give him your life savings. He just needs a little bit to get over the hump. Again, I forced him to do this because I know he needed it. And this is through Life Funder, which is the LifeSite News funding platform. It is not a woke platform. They're not going to get kicked off. And it's very secure. So please go do that. Click the link in the description. Don't give your money to Moloch. Instead, give your money to helping bring more children into this world. And please pray for their family as well. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, click the links in the description. This has been the Kennedy Report. Until next time, God bless.